Hello everybody, Mrs. Dalton here. This week we're going to be working with integers, opposites, and absolute value. So what are integers? Integers are whole numbers, their opposites, and zero. We'll cover opposites in just a minute. Whole numbers greater than zero are positive integers. Positive integers can be written with or without a positive sign. So these are the numbers that you're used to dealing with. Here's our zero, and we got positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Those are the positive integers. We normally just say 5 or 4 or 3. We don't usually say a positive 5 or positive 2 or whatever, but you can. Okay, whole numbers less than 0 are called negative integers. Negative integers are written with a negative sign. Okay, so here's 0 again. And we've got negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and negative 5, and so on. Think a thermometer turned on its side. The integer 0 is neither positive or negative. So let's talk about opposites. Opposites are numbers that are the same distance from 0, but are on different sides of 0 on a number line. For example, let's look at positive 2. Positive 2 is 2 units away from 0. The opposite of 2 would be 2 units away from 0 on the left side, and that would be a negative 2. So negative 4 would have an opposite of positive 4 because they both have a distance of 4 from 0. And 6, or positive 6, has an opposite of negative 6 because they are both 6 units away from 0. Absolute value. What is absolute value? It is the distance of a number from 0 on a number line. Absolute value is always positive because distance is always positive. The symbol for absolute value is a vertical bar on each side of a number. For example, do you see these vertical bars right here? These mean absolute value. So how you would say this would be the absolute value of 3 equals 3, because 3 is 3 units away from 0. And you would say this again right here. This would be the absolute value of negative 3 is 3, because negative 3 is 3 units away from 0. So it has an absolute value of 3. Okay, so let's look at this number line. Let's find the absolute value of negative 4. Well, here's 0, and negative 4 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the left. So its distance is 4. So the absolute value of negative 4 is 4. Same for a positive number. Let's find the absolute value of 6. So here we are at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units away from 0. So the absolute value of 6 equals 6. Okay, so let's answer a couple of questions using this number line. It says write the following values. The first thing it wants us to do is find the value of f. Okay, well I'm looking at this number line and I see 0 and then a line 3, line 6, line 9. So it looks like the lines in between that aren't labeled are going by ones. So we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the value of the point F is going to be 5. The second question says, find the opposite of F. Okay, well remember that opposites are the same distance from 0, but one is on the right hand of 0 and one is on the left hand side of 0. So let's go 5 units this way. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5 would be point F's opposite, which in this case would be point C. So opposite of F is going to be negative 5 or point C. And then the last question says find the absolute value of F. Well, remember, absolute value is just the distance it is away from 0. How many units? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we would write it as the absolute value of 5 equals 5. Okay, Next problem says, which integer is the opposite of the value 2? Okay, well, let's find 2 on our number line. 1, 2. And let's find its opposite. We're going to go 2 in the other direction. 1, 2. So, our opposite of the value 2 is going to be negative 2. This guy. So this guy and this guy are what we consider opposites. Okay, last question. Which equation represents the absolute value of negative 2? Well, let's look at our answer choices. We've got negative 2. Sorry, let's look at our number line first. So here we have negative 2 on our number line. And remember that absolute value is always going to be positive because distance is always positive. So right away we can get rid of answer choice F and answer choice G because both of those answers are negative. So we're left with H and J. Well, let's look at H. We would read H as the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. And this is how we would read J. J would say the negative absolute value of 2 equals 2. Well, let's look at our number line. We are at 0 and we're going to go 1, 2. So negative 2 is 2 units away from 0. Both of these answers are positive, but let's look at what this one means. This one looks kind of odd because a negative is on the outside. So what this one actually means is find the absolute value of 2, which we know is 2, and then put a negative in front of it, which would actually give us the real answer of negative 2 if we read this one properly and answered it. So that gives us the answer choice of this one right here because this, the way you read it, is correct. The absolute value of negative 2 is 2 because negative 2 is 2 units away from 0. All right, I'll see you on the next video. Have a good day.